Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Yinzer Brothers podcast. I am TJ, and I'm here with my brother Tim. And again, we are the Yinzer Bros. Today is the Steelers-Ravens preview game. Our now 10-0 Steelers face the 6-4 Ravens. It's so good to say the 6-4 Ravens, isn't it, Tim? They're sinking like a rock.
If those Ravens, those COVID crockpot Ravens, I mean,
They're basically thugs. They're thugs.
I mean, I was on the Twitter machine every 5 seconds to see another one of their star players go down from the COVID.
They did lose another guy. Did you see that?
They lost a bunch of guys. Yeah, they've lost. I mean, Calais, this is all a plea. This is all a play from the Ravens because all their big guys are banged up. They're freaking. We can kind of back this game up, tell everybody they're dying of COVID so they can cancel it or they can play it on Saturday. If they move this game, and the Steelers get screwed once again, there's going to be hell to pay.
That's right. Tim's going to get fired up. That's right. I think, who knows? I'm not a Harbaugh fan. I think I would not put it past him. To me, he's like Belichick Jr., not in his skill level, but in his cheatiness. I just don't like him. I don't think
you just figure Calais Campbell didn't practice again today. They know he's not playing this week. Mm-hmm. He wasn't going to play this week. They need to buy some more. And he's one of their key players. If he's not playing, their defense sucks. It stinks.
You're right.
So they're just going to say, hey, everybody got the COVID. Everybody got the COVID crock pot over there in the Ravens. And the more I think about it, it's like, why is it always got to be something? I mean, they just played the Titans. Did the Titans?
Hey.
It's all the Titans' fault again. I'm going to be very pissed off.
It probably is. I don't know what they're doing down in Nashville.
I don't know. I mean, just to me, it's like, I don't care if they make the Ravens play with stick figures. They're playing this game Thursday night.
I hope they do. That's better for us.
I think the Ravens see it on the wall. Everybody sees it on the wall. It's about to be a wrap, big time.
It is.
And just take your beating like the chump. Well, I was going to say a big time swear word. The chumps that you are, and just call it a day.
I think it's starting to, the sun's starting to set on them. I mean, did you watch the Titan game last week again with them? And I mean, the Titans beat them up pretty bad. They had almost 200 yards rushing, the Titans, 423 total yards on this stud defense. And Lamar was Lamar.
Too. The Titans stink too.
They do. Lamar was 17 for 29, $186, a TD, and of course, a turnover, a pick.
I'm not going to put that game on Lamar. That defense just gave up. They were tapping out. They just tapped out. They tapped out.
You see that last run by Henry? That nobody wanted a piece of Henry. Nobody wanted to touch him.
They just tapped out, and
they did.
For them to kind of the COVID crockpot to all of a sudden hit the rat birds. I mean, it's just banana land to me.
It is. And what about? Did you see the logo incident? All the Titans were out standing on the logo, and I thought it was hysterical. None of the players, I think the kicker came out, was like, hey, you get out of here. And just the Ravens coaches, they were trying to go toe-to-toe with these guys. But I liked their spunk. They took it away from Baltimore. I loved it.
If I was Vrabel, I would have unzipped my pants and I would have peed right on the logo and on Harbaugh's shoes. What is he going to do? What's he going to do? Punch Vrabel? Vrabel's going to be like, Vrabel would beat him up with his winky hanging out as he's peeing on the field.
You're right. Nothing would happen at all. No, that was a pretty. I'll tell you what, it's pretty intense thing. And then all the hoopla about at the end of the game, Harbaugh kind of waved off of Vrabel, didn't want to congratulate him.
Again, what I would have done after that, if I was Vrabel, I would have turned around, unzipped my pants, and just peed on the logo. And I would have gave the whole Baltimore sidelines a finger and just walked out.
It's good when you take the intimidators and you kind of give them a taste of your own medicine. So Tim, what are your thoughts of the Ravens right now?
Right now, like as in like the players that they're missing, going into this game.
I mean, they lost their starting two running backs. They're number one and number two. They lost their starting outside linebacker.
If you want my golf opinion, because was it Brandon Williams, Calais Campbell and Brandon Williams. That's their That's bigger than them two running backs.
Mhm.
I still feel you can throw a bunch of garbage running backs back there and they can
Well,
kind of get.
what's Edwards is the next man up, and he actually ran against us last year.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm not really, what is or whatever, but the defensive side, if they don't have Campbell and they don't have Williams and they don't have their outside backer, and supposedly there's more dudes that they haven't named that has COVID that they're waiting, I guess, for tests tomorrow. Wolf is hurt. Wolf is sick. Well, so Wolf is another one of their defensive linemen that's on the. He was out today's illness, so that tells me he's got some type of disease. I don't know what it is. So I mean, that's a shell of a team right now. I mean, an absolute shell. And you got everybody and their mother coming back for the Steelers, locked, loaded, ready to put that perennial nail directly into that coffin at Heinz Field on Thanksgiving night. Hate to see it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I can't think of it happening to a better team. So they're definitely not as formidable as they were a few weeks ago. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that the league is starting to figure out the Ravens and even Lamar Jackson? You've watched his output decrease greatly this year.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, yeah. I think the Titans put that blueprint out on them in the playoff game. And like I said, the Steelers early did too. You make Lamar Jackson throw outside, they will not win. They will not win. He has to make, in order for the Ravens to beat people, Lamar Jackson has to make I'd say probably about 3 big throws a game, and he can't do it.
You're right. I agree. I mean, because this is a live or die game for the Ravens.
They have to win this game.
This one, they may be out of contention. I mean, I know it's a little too early to call it, but that puts them at what, 6-5?
Yeah, but they'll beat the Browns. The Browns. The only thing that would make this better if the Steelers were playing the Browns and they were to put their nail in their stupid coffin.
That might be later.
I hope it is. I hope it is the last game of the season, and everybody's debating, should we rest them? And the Steelers don't, and they just throttle the Browns. Nothing would make me more happier to say, hey, we ain't beat nobody. And I know I sent you that tweet, everybody saying the Steelers haven't beat anybody. I sent you that tweet of all the teams in this league and the teams that they beat over 500. Mm-hmm. The only other team that's higher than the Steelers were the New Orleans Saints.
You're right.
You went the Saints, the Steelers, and the Chiefs were tied.
You're right.
So I don't want to hear that the Steelers ain't played nobody. That's why they're undefeated. Everybody else ain't played nobody either then.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear it.
No, we've gone through a bunch of teams. I think you're right. I don't think the Ravens are as scary as they used to be. You could just tell, so when it comes down to, I got to tell you this, I wasn't even impressed totally. I watched a good bit of the game on Sunday with the Ravens and the Titans. And mm-hmm. I don't even like the Ravens game plan. I mean, they did put up, 24 points?
I mean, it's about time that Mickey Mouse offense that they're running. It took the NFL, a half a year to figure it out?
That's what it usually does, about a half a year. Remember the Wildcat? That was a big thing.
Exactly.
Nobody could stop the Wildcat. About a half a year, they had it done.
Exactly. I think Lamar Jackson, he made the statement on one of his talk shows a couple of weeks ago. The offenses are actually calling out their plays before they happen.
I did. I heard that too. I heard that. He was whining about it. He's like, that's not fair. It's like, well, welcome to the NFL. Try not to be so predictable, right? Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the Steelers offense. What do you think the offense needs to do in order for us to go 11-0?
If I was them, every time they play the Ravens, when they come out and they kind of do their huddle up and the Ravens kind of stymie them, I'd come up in no huddle and just go up and down the field on them. Yeah. Just go up and down. I saw Jimmy Smith didn't practice today. They're beat up. That whole team is beat up. I would, if I was them, I would just come out, go run no huddle, and run them right off the field.
Yeah. No, I think it's a good strategy. With the Ravens. Now, again, the Titans were able to run the ball against the Ravens. They had, 171 rushing yards. 171 against them, 173 this week. I don't even know. I think we'll get our yards, but I wouldn't even worry about coming out early to establish the run. I think you just throttle them. You start scoring points. They're a different team when they got to come from behind.
Again, I would come out in the no huddle and just let Ben run the offense in the no huddle. Keep that defense on the field. Keep them reeling. They're beat up. They're going to be missing pieces, and just eventually that if you're running no huddle, that team's going to be winded. You'll be able to run the ball at some point.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It could be a good game. We got Vance McDonald back. That gives us another big blocker, right?
That dude better be off the COVID crock pot.
He is. I saw him in his man bun today in practice. He was running around catching the ball.
They better dip him in Lysol every time before he gets on the practice field. I wouldn't even let him get near the. I want the rest of this week until game time. I wouldn't let him get in a huddle near Ben. I wouldn't let him get a huddle near anybody. I just call the play and be like, Vance, this is what we're running, and just try to keep him at least 6 feet away from anybody on the field. He can do his thing, pretend he's blocking or whatever. Stay 6 feet away, or put him in a bubble, or do something, but keep him away from Ben.
I think they've missed his blocking a little bit because Ebron is not a blocker.
You think?
He is not a he doesn't even block. I think Juju's a better blocker than he is.
Ebron couldn't block air if you want.
He's not a blocker.
He can catch a ball, but
he can't. I'll give him that.
But again, I will make a statement. He will have a soul-crushing drop before this season's over.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Juju. Juju didn't practice. Did you see his freak injury?
He stepped on a flag.
He stepped on it. How does that happen? That's like you and I do that in the Turkey Bowl, Tim. How does a professional athlete?
But here's my question. We're in the year, what is it, 2020? I don't even know what year we're in anymore.
2020, Tim.
2020. Have you ever seen
COVID-19?
Yeah. Have you ever seen one of those flags?
Mm-hmm.
How they bundle them up, and on the ball, there's a ball at the end, but that ball is it's like cement. It's like a rock.
Mm-hmm.
You would think they would have the technology now. If you throw one of those things and somebody stepped on it, it's just like a Nerf ball. It just gets squishy. It gets squishy. What the hell is it? What's going on with that?
Why does it have to be like a cement ball? Why can't it be like a beanbag?
Even a beanbag's dangerous. Make it like a Nerf. A Nerf that just, like one of those stress balls. Those can get heavy. Use that stuff and you can throw it and just sink into it.
Those things are deadly. You remember that one guy? Who's the guy? Was he in Cleveland? They lost an eye.
Yeah, and he punched the ref after he got hit in the face.
Yeah.
I would have probably done.
Dude, he went blind. He's dead. He died.
What, COVID?
No. No, not every death is COVID. He died at 41 or something crazy. But he went blind in that eye.
Was he? I mean, did he die of not? I mean,
I don't know what it was. No, he did. He died of something. I don't know what it was. 41 is not natural causes.
Well, I mean, was it because he was banging his brain against people's face for I
don't know,
30 years of his life?
But he was in the league another 3 years, I think. But he lost sight in his eye. He sued the league for $200 billion.
You sure that wasn't the diabetes that kind of kicked in at the end there?
I don't know what he had.
Lost an eye. He was like a 360-pound man.
So he sued the league for $200 million and settled, I think, for $20 million, 15 or 20 million.
Man, I wish that happened. I'd take an eye. And do that.
You got two, so you can give up one eye.
I'd take an eye. I'd have one of them glass eyes. I'd pull it out like the homeless guy did to us in Chicago the one time.
That was scary. So Tim and I, we were in Chicago. We were visiting the ESPN Sports Zone back in the day. And as we're walking in, it's dark. It's night.
This is my first time ever in Chicago.
First time ever in Chicago, down the city. This homeless dude was hanging out in the bushes. We didn't see him. And he popped out. This thing where he would scare you for money, and he popped out, went like this, and Tim and I collectively almost filled our pants. And his thing was, he was like, he scared you for $1. I think we gave him $5 because it was great.
I should have kicked him in his groin, took his eye, and threw it in the lake.
You should have, but you were running the other way.
I was petrified.
It was awesome. You got to give it up for the guy's ingenuity. I thought that was impressive.
It was.
So who's your player to watch in the game this week?
Offense or just
offensive
in general?
Player to watch, huh?
Offensive player to watch. Claypool.
Yeah, I think Claypool's going to have a good game. I think Claypool and I think Ebron. I think Ebron's going to be stud too this week. Yeah, I think now last time they played, I think Juju was the guy. I think he had 5 or 6 targets.
Yeah, he was.
Well, he's just turned into that big, strong possession receiver.
You know what I'm praying they do though too. I saw somebody make up the suggestion because they're wearing their color rush. The black ones,
yeah,
painting the end zones black.
That would be cool,
like it was in the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a tough look Thursday night coming in seeing the end zones black. That would bring chills all to my spine.
That's good, Tim. That's good.
It's either that or the COVID just cricking in from the back all the way up.
So let's talk about the Steelers defense now. What do you think the Steelers defense needs to do to win?
Oh, shut the run down. I mean, you make Lamar Jackson beat you.
Yeah.
I just kind of, it is what it is. Same game plan. You stop the run and don't let Lamar Jackson throw to Andrews, and you're going to win.
Yeah. I mean, last time, didn't we lose Alu Alu early in the game last time?
We lost Malu Alu, and I think we lost. Did we lose Hilton in the same game?
I think you're right. I think we did.
And yeah, we lost Alu Alu very early. We lost him in the first series of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought we lost Hilton. I don't think we. Maybe we didn't. Maybe we lost him the next game.
I
But
know,
we lost,
Alu Alu, he was a big loss.
Alu Alu didn't play, and I don't know if on the offensive side, DeCastro played that game either.
I don't think he did, actually. No, I don't think he did.
So, I mean,
so we'll have Alu Alu back, and we'll have Wormley back too.
you have Wormley. The only kicker is, I believe, we didn't have Bush that game. That Face Smasher was playing still that game.
He was.
Yeah, I mean, we should be locked and loaded. You got all your pieces back. So, and you got a different kind of look with Cam Sutton because he's been playing a little bit more. So you got more of a ball hawk too. I don't know. I know Hayden didn't practice today, but I saw pictures of him like running around.
Yeah,
they
so
say he
maybe
didn't practice. I think
he's on the older side too. Maybe. Hey, we got 2 stud safeties. We got Mika, and we got your guy, and we have Terrell Edmonds.
Easy, my friend. Easy.
He's a ball hawk now, apparently.
Yeah, we'll see how much of a ball hawk he is.
2 picks.
When I'm ready to jump through the television screen and grab 34, throw a flag at him. That's what I'm going to
do. Hey, 2 picks. They look good, man. I'll tell you what, Nelson's playing good ball too. I like our defense. I just like our approach. I think the Steelers have a great approach to these mobile quarterbacks. Jackson, the dude from Houston. I'm anxious to see when they play the Bills. I just like they seem to be able to just get pressure up the middle and tie those ends up. And man, they squeeze those guys, which is great. I forget how many picks has Jackson had in the last 2 games against us.
Oh man,
7? Is it 7?
I thought it was 5, but I thought he had a couple fumbles too. Yeah.
Well, he's a turnover machine, man.
Oh yeah, it's like I mean,
a Pez dispenser.
We'll see what happens.
It fall out.
Bud, let's see if Bud has another big game. Bud,
that would be great. So, who's your defensive player to watch?
I think it's going to be number 98, Vinny Viducci. I think he's going to him and his crazy eyes. I think he's due for one of those 12 to 15 tackle games, and he's just going to be smashing faces left and right.
I think Tuitt's going to have a good game. I don't know why. I got this feeling. I mean, Bud and Watt are going to be. They're going to squeeze. They're going to get.
I don't know. Bud better show his rear end up. I mean, he was good last game, but you can't go on disappearing acts for multiple games, buddy.
That's true. And against, you're not talking about the greatest, competition like the Jags and these guys.
I'm just a little worried, man, what happens if we get out of this game and like half our team gets the COVID?
No, don't even talk like that.
Baltimore don't even sinks our ship because they're breathing all over us.
No, don't even talk like that. Well, it's gonna the COVID.
What if they postpone this game?
I don't think they will. It's Thanksgiving. You know why I don't think? I think right now for the NFL,
they made the statement. I saw something late tonight. They said they are looking at this closely. So tomorrow's a big day when it comes back from the testing. And if there's more tests that are paused in Baltimore, I want to see the dang proof. I want to see the votes. I want to see.
You want to hold the cup? They got to pee in. You want to be there.
I want to see the little pictures of the positive COVID guy like this, the negative COVID guy with his thumbs down. That's what I want to see.
I hear you.
In fact, I think I would, if I was a Steelers, I would request. I was like, let me test those dudes.
I'm sure Harbaugh tested it himself. I think right now it's a money thing. I mean, the NFL has lost so much money from butts in the seats. This is a primetime game on Thanksgiving. This is the Thanksgiving game. The other games stink.
But but you could. I don't know what the rest of the games are on the schedule this week. I don't know what's the actual Sunday night game. I have no idea what it is.
I don't know. I mean, I just got the Thanksgiving. The Cowboys are playing the
dumpster fire. I think they're probably going to be playing Washington, right?
Yeah, it's bad. And then
wherever Detroit's playing, Detroit sucks. So I don't know.
They're terrible.
This whole state of Michigan, I honestly started to feel bad for their whole entire the sports up there. I thought Ohio had it bad. Michigan, even their college teams suck, man. I mean, they're bad. They're bad. But here's my thing. If you have 4 or 5 guys test positive tomorrow, I mean, how can you play the game?
If they test positive tomorrow, they still won't be ready for Saturday or Sunday because it's Wednesday.
Yeah, but what
They play Saturday, they can't clear.
But what about those dudes that already test positive on Monday? They could theoretically play on Sunday, right?
They could if they're clear, but you don't know if they'll be clear or not. They have to be negative, and they got to roll from there.
You're right. Make them play with. You know what I would do? Let's just go city for city. We'll suit up. We'll suit up Pittsburgh. Some of them, Western PA boys, and you go suit up the Baltimore, Maryland area, and we'll see what we got there.
That's right. I don't know. I think it's a reality they're going to have to deal with going down down the road here. But I think you got to suit up who you have. Now again, I know that if there's a huge outbreak, they'll do something.
I don't understand how you can have teams have a huge outbreak and other teams don't. That just tells me you're not doing your protocols right.
I agree.
It just doesn't make any sense. I can understand if it's 1 or 2 or something like that, but when you got like 5 or 10, how is that? How are they not getting punished by the NFL?
They should be.
And to me, the biggest way you punish them is saying, "Sucks for you. Bring up your practice squad dudes, and let's just see the replacements get absolutely dragged up and down the field by the Steelers."
No, I agree. I think they got to figure that out. So I don't know. I don't think they're going to move the game because I think the NFL wants the money.
But I get what you're saying. But if you're doing that, and it's kind of one of those things where Baltimore has a shell of a team, I mean, people are still going to watch. They don't care.
No, they don't care. They don't care. It's just revenue for them. No, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with that. It'll be interesting to say the least. Let's open up the Yinzer mailbag before we call the final score of the game. What is the Yinzer mailbag? It's when you, the fans, get to ask us anything you want, anything about the Steelers, anything about the podcast, anything you want about our personal habits. Ask us anything. You can send your questions to yinzerbros@gmail.com. Again, that's yinzerbros@gmail.com. Here's the first question. Who are your top 3 teams in the AFC now that the Ravens seem to be sliding? Who's your top 3?
The Steelers.
Top 2 are easy. Steelers, Chiefs. Who's number 3?
Steelers, Chiefs. I'm going to probably say Buffalo.
Why Buffalo?
I don't know. It was a toss-up between Buffalo and Indy. So I don't like Phillip Rivers, so I'm going to say Buffalo.
I don't like Phillip Rivers either, but I trust I like Indianapolis's defense. I think they got a tough defense. And Rivers, and now Rivers can be a turnover machine, just like I think all 3 of the quarterbacks, if you talk about the Ravens, you talk about Rivers, you talk about Allen, they could all be turnover machines.
You trust Buffalo? You trust Indy's defense over Buffalo's defense?
I do. I was very impressed with them this week. I thought they were stout. They were solid. I don't know. That's just me. Buffalo, I still don't know if they know how to win.
Didn't Green Bay hang like almost 30 points on them?
Well, yeah, but they lost.
I understand, but they still almost hung 30 points on them. If Green Bay had any just makeup of a defense, you don't lose. If you put up 30 points, if you put in this league, if you put up 28 points, your defense should be good enough to not give up 23. Really, that just tells me your defense is. That tells me Green Bay's defense is absolutely poo.
They're terrible.
It's terrible.
Yeah, they are.
And Indy's defense isn't any better.
Well, Indy's defense is in the top 3 of the league. I mean, they're not bad. Now, I trust their defense more than Buffalo's defense. Again, it was Green Bay. Green Bay's got a prolific.
I think when Buffalo has all their pieces healthy on the defense, they're a better defense than Indy. They haven't had all their pieces together. Like Josh Norman's been out for 4 months with COVID. I don't know why. But they've been missing like corners here and there. They've missed different players. I think Buffalo has a better defense. It's all said and done than Indy.
So where do you put the Ravens in the AFC? Are they number 4, number 5? Where do you put them now?
Raiders impressed me.
They did.
Raiders
in
impressed
fact,
me.
I would not even see. I could even make an argument to see the Raiders coming into 3rd team.
I could too. Raiders impressed me. Tennessee's still Tennessee.
They are.
They can beat you up. I'm still gonna put Buffalo as a third team until I like their defense. I like Josh Allen. I like the offensive weapons they have. But I would say the Raiders are right behind them, man. They were very impressive to watch against the Chiefs, man.
Here's one knock I got against Buffalo too. This year, their division is just a dumpster fire.
Miami's not bad, man.
They're okay. They lost this week. Fitzmagic
They did.
back in there.
Miami's not bad.
New England.
They're a dumpster
The
fire.
Jets are awful.
The Jets are. Oh.
I mean, so there's 4 wins right there. And if you take one from Miami, there's 5 wins.
Yeah, but you can also say that about the. I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. It isn't, but you can also say that about the division the Colts are in, or the West, AFC West. The rest of those teams besides Oakland and Chiefs are dumpster fires.
Now I was surprised Denver had a decent win. Well, they beat was it Miami they beat, or who did they beat?
I think it was Miami, but they're still dumpster fire. They stink.
Well, they are. I was surprised they won.
They stink. And then you got besides Indy and in Tennessee, Jacksonville, they're suck.
Bad. Yeah, they're bad.
I don't know how Jacksonville beat Indy. I have no idea how that even happened. And,
it was the first game of the year too, wasn't
it? And the Texans stink too.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, the Texans are rough. Yeah, they're bad. Let's see. Here's another one. How about this? Says of the Steelers' remaining schedule, which team makes you the most nervous? So the big 3 they got left. You got the Ravens, you've got Indy, and you got the Bills.
If the Indy game was on the road, it would make me nervous. Since it's at home, and I think it's going to be outside, and it's not going to be on that track down in Indy, doesn't scare me as much. That Buffalo game, because I think it's up in Buffalo. I think it is. Kind of gets me a little nervous.
So Buffalo makes you more nervous than Indy?
They do. Just because it's in Buffalo. And for all we know, there could be 47. If it is in Buffalo, which I think it is, there could be 47 inches of snow. And it could just be one of those freak games where it's kind of like, them snow games are just something weird. It's going to be like a 6-3 game. And I can see Boswell missing 2 field goals because Tomlin brought in 47 kickers the night before.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit. I think my edge goes to Indy. I'm a little more nervous of Indy than Buffalo, but I could see either one.
Here's one I'm not nervous of Indy. Did you watch any of the Indy game?
A little bit, yeah.
TJ, it takes Phillip Rivers 15 minutes to get out of his break to set up the pass.
It does.
You think in a million years, when you got TJ and you got Bud coming off the end, they're going to kill Phillip Rivers.
They probably will.
He's going to die.
They probably will.
They're going to be in his face before he takes 2 steps out of his break. And you're going to be like, what happened?
He wasn't very fast before. Now he's even worse.
And you're playing outside in Heinz Field, and it's going to be cold. Mm. I mean, it's going to be that's what gets me kind of like, I don't know, man. I could see like TJ, like as soon as like Phillip Rivers takes a step back and TJ just sitting there just giving him a bear hug already. And he's like, how did you get here already? And Phillip is like looking around like, he looks like he is moving in cement when he comes out of his break to his drops. He does. He looks like he's moving in cement. And I think by the time he takes one step, Bud and TJ are going to be kissing him on the cheeks.
I think too. I'm anxious to see what these guys do against Allen because I don't know.
I think Allen's pretty good, man. He gets me. I mean,
he is. But if you give him pressure up the front and you could squeeze him, I think he becomes ordinary.
But the difference is he could throw the ball. He has a cannon, and I don't know. I just put it this way: you're saying pick one of those teams? I don't think either one's going to beat them. The more I think about this. The only game that I'm actually scared of because I don't think it's going to mean anything is that Cleveland game.
Yeah, it's Cleveland.
Because let me put it this way. If they know they have that number 1 seed wrapped up and they have that bye, I go into that Cleveland game and I absolutely throttle Cleveland. I mean, when I say throttle them, I beat them 100-1.
And knock them out of the playoffs.
Yeah, it'd be great. It would be great. It would be great. And what I would do is after the game, I would go take a dump on the 50-yard line and I would cup a piece of poo and just throw it in the dog pound. That's what I would do. But if they don't have that bye, I feel they're going to rest everybody because it's just not worth getting your studs hurt. And I think Cleveland could beat them.
That means Mason, he may see the field.
That would be poetic justice if Stupid Face beats them when we got our backups playing.
Well, I think Garrett's out. He's hurt, isn't he?
He's the COVID.
Yeah.
What I would do if I was ever Mason again, you ever see the I think it's what movie it is? One movie where they said just let the guy in and the guy it's the
remember the Titans.
I would do the same thing to Garrett and just if I was Stupid Face, I'd throw the ball right at his crotch.
Tim, it'll be interesting. I think that'd be a good place.
I would turn around and sprint off that field up the tunnel as quick as possible. Our Stupid Face.
So the last time I remember the Steelers playing a meaningless game like that is when we went to Buffalo. Buffalo had to win to get in, and they had to beat us. I was there with my brother-in-law, Jeff Davis, in Buffalo, and we had an unknown running back. I never even knew who he was. His name was Willie Parker. He ran for like 200 yards against them, and I barely left the stadium with my life. They needed to win. They're like, "Who's this Willie guy?" I'm like, "Never heard of him. I have no idea." Maybe they picked him up. That was not the right answer there. There's nothing in Buffalo. It's a bad place to live. You don't want to be there. Here's another question. So we're talking about the AFC. What are your three top teams in the NFC?
Saints are number one.
Yeah.
I still got to put Green Bay up there. I still think they're going to get bullied by some team. Tampa
was looking good, but boy, they're starting to fall out of the sky.
Tampa just you put him on prime time, and Brady looked bad last night.
He looked great. He looks terrible.
He looked bad last night. I mean, someone passed. I'm going, dude. I mean, Stupid Face wouldn't even have made those throws. Rams impressed me, man.
They look tough.
Rams impressed me. Their defense is pretty good. I would probably. I mean, to me, top three teams. It's going to be the Saints. I'd probably say Seattle, and I'd probably say Green Bay.
Green Bay. Yeah. I think those are the three big ones. I thought Tampa was kind of knocking on the door, and the Rams do surprise me too. I'll tell you what, they do enough to win. They got a decent offense. They got a great defense.
Their defense is Aaron Donald is a grown.
He's a man.
I mean, grown man with Western Pennsylvania blood flowing through his veins.
He would look great in black and gold, wouldn't he?
I mean, you just think about some of the players that came out of Western Pennsylvania. It just shakes. Western Pennsylvania has basically carved the NFL history. That's basically what it's done.
We have.
It is what it is.
Super blood. I think it's all the stuff that got in the air from the still mills, that got into the ground, that got into the waters that we ingested, and they're basically mutants, is what they are.
We're superhumans.
We are basically.
But just think about it. You may have Aaron Donald when it's all said and done. He may be the greatest defensive player that ever walked the planet.
Right.
Western Pennsylvania.
You're right.
And I understand people are Tom Brady go. Blah, 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 blah. I'm still going to consider Joe Montana the GOAT. And guess where he was from?
You're right.
Western Pennsylvania.
Western PA.
So you may have the offensive GOAT ever and the defensive GOAT ever coming straight out of the Berg.
I think you're right. I mean, there's no argument for me. I think you're right.
It's unbelievable. And it just pains me that the Pitt teams stink and they got all this talent coming from. I don't get it.
I know.
I don't get it.
I don't either. It's a shame. So what do you think it's going to take for the Steelers to leapfrog the Chiefs in the eyes of people as the best team in the AFC?
If they go out and throttle Baltimore, I think it's going to be we'll wait a second. Because I watched the Chiefs. I watched that game pretty closely against the Raiders. Chiefs defense is not any good.
No.
It is not any good.
No.
Steelers defense is way better than the Raiders.
It is.
I understand. I think the Steelers can make enough stops on Kansas City to potentially win a game against Kansas City. I don't think Kansas City can stop the Steelers enough.
I agree.
In my personal opinion. I think they can make it. If Steelers would have to jump on those guys pretty big, because Mahomes did make that last drive that he made it look just
yeah.
He was playing. It was 7-on-7, and and you're kind of wondering what happened this whole game.
Kelsey, how does he get open like that? Like even for that touchdown? I don't
I
understand.
don't get it. To me, I don't get it.
He should never, ever. How does he get that open? You know where the ball's going. Put a spy there. Put somebody on him.
I would just be, to me, Casey, their defense is suspect. And I would like to see that defensive line of the Steelers against their offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Because Patrick Mahomes is good, but I don't think Patrick Mahomes has seen a defense.
I agree.
As the Steelers, and it's gonna be a bigger difference when you got and you got TJ coming off the end.
A lot of speed,
and you're gonna have those guys pumping up the middle. Like I said, it does give me nervous because I don't think they're gonna be able to cover anybody on the team's able to cover Kelsey unless they put
Kelsey and Hill. Those are the ones you shut those two.
I think they can cover Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey gets me nervous. Man. So it's like one of those things where like you can't put Balboa face on him because he'll carve him up. I mean, you're going to put Edmonds on him?
Your guy.
Oh, God.
You know, I think, too, I mean, so basically right now, Mahomes, he gets all this time to throw the ball down the field. If he doesn't have the time to throw the ball down the field and he's relegated to 5 and, 4 to 7 yard completions inconsistently, I think that's a win for the Steelers.
I'd be curious how they play him. I'd be curious if they're going to sit back in zone or if they're just going to blitz the crap out of him.
I don't think you can sit back in zone for him. I think you got to get in there on him because he'll just pick you apart.
Yeah, to a point, but you got guys. They have a track team on the outside, so it's kind of like you do that. I would be petrified to see how Hayden's old rear end hold up in man coverage against those dudes running 4.2s down the field, man.
Nelson would have to have a big game. Would it be interesting if the Raiders get in and they take out the Chiefs before we see them?
I think if I am the Chiefs, I'd be petrified to play the Raiders in the playoffs.
Yeah,
it's truthfully, I hate to say it, if I'm the Steelers and the Ravens sneak in as an 8 seed and we're the number 1 seed, I would not want to play the Ravens early in the playoffs.
Oh, I'm exactly the same way. I think you're right. Yeah, who knows? Unless they get COVID again.
If it was Cleveland, I'd want to play them 100 times.
Says, should Tomlin get any Coach of the Year love?
Yes. Your team's 10-0. What more? I was hearing this argument today, like, well, the guy in Miami should get Coach of the Year, or because he doesn't have the groceries Tomlin has. I'm going, well, if we're going to use that argument,
what about last year?
Tomlin should have won Coach of the Year last year.
He should have.
To me, it's like, dude, if the New England Patriots are 11-0, who's winning? Who won the Coach of the Year when they were 18-0? Was it Belichick? Yes. Because they had they had all the pieces there too. So yeah, he should get coach. Yes, as of right now, he should get Coach of the Year. Even if they don't win this, I mean, if they go 14-2, Tomlin should win Coach of the Year.
Yeah, he did good. I'm with you. I agree with you 100%. It says, what are your favorite Thanksgiving desserts, Tim? We know we're having turkey. What's your dessert?
My father-in-law's tiramisu
it's amazing.
Exquisite, man. It is one of my favorite delights. For
what are you having for desserts this year?
Melissa is picking up have you ever had the pumpkin cheesecake from Olive Garden?
I have not. Is it good?
It is quite a delicious treat.
So I didn't know. Are you a pumpkin fan? You like pumpkin pie?
I'm pumpkin pie and this pumpkin cheesecake. It just hits different from Olive Garden. I don't know what it is. It just hits different. We're going to go pick up a cheesecake from up there. We kind of made the call today. Can we get a whole cheesecake? And they're like, yeah. So I think we're going to do that for our dessert.
So are you a whipped cream person on the pumpkin cheesecake?
If it's there, I'm not going to deny it.
Yeah, I don't want to. So what's your favorite Thanksgiving side? Is it stuffing?
Yeah. And we talked about this because I think Melissa's talking about maybe just doing the stuffing tomorrow and cooking it instead of waiting, Thursday to do it.
If she cooks it tomorrow, will it make it to Thanksgiving? Tim?
That was the question that I brought up. I was like, that's a dangerous proposition because Timmy's going to be going gobble, 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 gee, gobble, gobble, go. And next thing you know, we're going to look down and there's going to be no stuffing left. And I'm going to get blamed for everything. And I'm going to say, hey, you can't put the stuffing in front of a fat kid because he's going to eat it.
That's true.
He's going to sweat and he's going to get the COVID.
Probably. That's true. Well, that does it tonight for the Yinzer mailbag. Again, if you got any questions for us, any comments, any ideas, any lucrative endorsements, money, food, fame.
You know what I could go for, truthfully?
What?
I'd go for one of them smiley face cookies.
That's right.
If I had one of those, if I had those in the house right now,
gone.
I could probably go through a half a dozen before I go to bed.
I got one in the freezer. My little one almost died. I saw it in his hands. I said, "You put that back. You eat that. That's my celebration cookie."
That better be. You better save that cookie for around second week of February.
It's why it's in there. Second week of February. It's my celebration cookie. I will break it out. Celebration,
because you know that you know this is the year the Steelers are going to win the Super Bowl. The one time in my lifetime where I made this statement to you. I think we made the dumbest mistake of our lives back in 2005 when we were both in Illinois and the Super Bowl was in Detroit, and we're like, we don't need to go to that. We should have went. That was probably one of the dumbest decisions we ever made.
You're right.
And I don't think I could. Was it the other Super Bowl? I wasn't going to go because it was the week after my wedding. I just that wasn't in the cards.
Priorities, Tim. Priorities.
Yeah. That would have been a bad look for the wife. That would have been a short marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And then we didn't go to the one in Dallas. I think I tried to get tickets for the one in Dallas. It just didn't happen. I just know they're going to get to the Super Bowl this year, and I'm not going to be able to go because there's going to be no fans there, and it's going to drive me banana land.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably what's going to happen is they'll never get back, and I'm going to die before they ever get back.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen. Again, if you get any questions for us, just email us.
I got like 15 years. We talked about this. So
we had a couple more shots in before there. You can email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com. If you're lucky enough, you may get your question answered on the show. Mm-hmm. Tim, it's time to call the score. What do you think the score is going to be this week?
No matter in my head, I always tell them, like even the Ravens, if they're playing with fourth stringers, in my head, I'm going, boy, it's going to be a blowout, but they never are. No matter how good the teams are, how bad the teams are, they're always close. I'm going to say this is going to be a typical Ravens-Steeler game. I'm going to say Boz wins with a field goal at the end. I'm going to call maybe a 21 20 game.
21-20. That's good. I'm going to call it 24-10 Steelers.
You have called the last like 10 games. The opponent scoring 10 points.
24-10. I just feel it. I think they're gonna do enough. I think, and that's going to be the game's going to be that score's closer than what the game's going to be. I think that I think we're in Jackson's head, and I think that we'll continue to be in his head. I think he'll try to win the game more on his own, and the more he tries to do that, the more he screws it up, which is good news for the Steelers. Just like Ben, when Ben tries to do it all by himself, that's when he throws 3 or 4 picks. So I think that's where Jackson is right now. That's just my call. We'll see what happens. Tim, anything you'd like to add before we sign off here on this mighty podcast?
On this, wishing everybody happy Gobble Day.
Yeah. Sit
back, relax. You never know what's going to happen Thursday in that next podcast. You could see old Timoteo in a whole limelight you've never seen him before.
That's true. Well, I hope we get to see Timoteo with the helmet again, because that means we're 11-0, and that would be spectacular.
You may see me with the helmet. You may see me with the helmet with a cigar in my mouth. You may see me actually thrown up from the bathroom because I poisoned myself because I tried to make the turkey. We don't know.
That'll make a good story. Again, I'm TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim, and we are the Yinzer Bros. Don't forget, if you like what you hear, pass it along to your friends. All the podcasts, we need all the podcast love we can get. Again, don't forget, too, the Steelers-Ravens post-game will be dropping later next week. Again, we are the Yinzer Bros. Happy Thanksgiving. Stay classy, Pittsburgh.
We're number 1 out here, all right?
Number 1, baby.